So I was thinking about it, and one of the things that I've gotten good at over the course of role playing in tabletop games specifically is how to make characters. And I know a lot of people who enjoy making characters or they want to get into role playing games, but they don't know how to get started. And I found that a few tricks for me, at least, that make it much easier to get through the character creation process, which in any tabletop game can be arduous depending on the mechanics. And the first thing has to do with, well, everything has to do with your book. Whether you're using a digital copy or whether you're using a physical copy. And the key is to be organized and to know what you're looking for. When you're making a character, you first want to skim through all the materials pertaining to character creation because you want to know what the book recommends in a step-by-step process what you should do first. Um, then what you want to do is you want to figure out what you're actually going to make, and I recommend reading flavor text as well as the descriptions for abilities specific to the class. Flavor text because that's what's going to give you an idea of what your character is going to look like in the narrative of the world, which is very important in role playing. Um, and then the mechanics because you want to actually make sure that it's as fun to play as it sounds. There's a lot of classes out there that exist that sound really cool from their flavor text but are not actually fun because of the mechanics placed on them. So once you got that down, you know what you're looking for. Then you want to go back and you want to do, well, first off, bookmark it. I don't care if you have a digital copy or if you have a physical copy. Use those little sticky tabs. Mark that place in the book. What I personally do is I do a cute PDF print of the specific pages that I need. And save it as the class so that I can just access that portion of the book and I can access it when I'm accessing the book itself. Then what I think you should do is go back, read over the basic character creation process, and find all the sections that you're going to need and do the exact same thing you just did with the class that you picked that you were going to do. Now, the other thing is to double check your class and see if there's any specific things for them. Like if it's a mage, check where the spells are in the book. Because you're going to want quick reference to them. You're going to go to these sections a lot, not just once. And the problem is that it's very easy to get lost in these books. They're generally very thick. And if you're flipping through the book a lot, you're wasting a lot of time. So you start on the basic stuff, you get that down, and that the basic way I go about it is you go from the least personalized to the most personalized, which in my view has always been you start with stats if your game has them, and most games have some form of stats for characters. You start with those because they're going to inform every other decision you make. And I know a lot of people don't like min-maxing, and that's completely fine, and I understand that choice. I personally don't like it either. But you can't ignore the fact that your stats are going to be what frames your character as a whole. So that's the first thing that needs to be done. And then you move on from the steps there, using those quick access points that you made earlier so that you're not fussing through the book. Um, these are these are steps I take, and I'm curious if anyone else has tips for designing characters um, that they use. And yeah, I hope that anyone who's interested in getting into tabletop games but has been a bit intimidated by the character making process finds this useful. And that's it.